Redstone is one of the greatest things in Minecraft. It can pull off different things from an assortment of piston doors, farms, mechanical stuff, and even wireless signals. But a lot of people don't know how to use redstone, and that's why I'm here to complete my 50 subscriber series with one video, once and for all. Okay, so this is assuming that you haven't watched any of my other videos. We are starting with the lever, the block, and this one, the redstone dust. So, the lever is like activator per se. It sends signals. It can activate redstone dust, as shown. Redstone dust sends signals. It's like a wire. It can go for 15 blocks. See, this is the 15th. The 16th is off. And, well, yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, before we go into the block, I must explain about hard powering and soft powering. Alright, so here we have redstone dust going into this block. As you see, it is going into the block. There's no output throughout the other side. Here we have a repeater, which I haven't explained yet, going into this block. But there is an output on the other side. So from now on, I'm calling this one, with the redstone dust going into the block, soft powering, and this one over here, hard powering. And by the way, these are actual names. It's not just me making stuff up. Alright, on to the repeater. So the repeater can extend redstone dust signals, but there's a cost, which is delay. It has, the minimum is 1 tick of delay. So in Minecraft, delay is described in ticks. So there is 10 redstone ticks per second. Alright? I know 20 ticks, but like it's 10 redstone ticks in bedrock definition. So this is 1 redstone tick. This is 1/10 of a second slower than if redstone dust was infinite. But you can make it up to 4 ticks, and combining them together will get you any amount of delay that you need. So that's basically what it does. This is the basics, so I will not explain locking repeaters. That will be in part 2. Alright, so now on to our boy, the redstone block. The redstone block acts as a permanent activator, but it is movable. So, if you know about pistons, then you know you can move blocks. And, I mean, well, as you see, it's just activating this. It can activate lamps. But, the redstone block is what we're going to use to activate different stuff around our journey today. So, now, the observer is a bit more complicated. See, observers are interesting. They can detect updates in blocks. So, when I turn on this lever, it will, well, first of all, the lever will update. Then it will update this redstone dust, and so on down the line. The observer detects the update of the redstone dust and sends out a signal on the other side, as shown. But it is a short signal, as I believe it is supposed to be the length of the update time. But it's like the same signal all the time. You will get a 1 tick output. Alright, we have made it past the first section. Ignore glass. We are on to a very confusing very, very confusing block. The comparator. The comparator has two modes: addition and subtraction. Addition is not so much as it seems, as if you add 15 and 15, you will only get 15. It does not go any further. As you see, if I was to add another one, it does not go any further. But here's the thing. I'm adding this one with this one, right? So this line has a signal strength of 15. That's what it's called. Every block a redstone dust travels, it's called a signal strength. Now, if I move the signal strength back 14, so now it's 14, you notice it's not on. And for some peculiar reason, if this side is greater than this side, it will just output a 0. But if you have a smaller number on this side, it doesn't do much. Now this is the weird thing about Bedrock Edition. It's just so weird compared to Java. I think the comparator is different than Java. But now onto subtraction. You can click it once to make it into subtraction mode. But now, as you see, if I input 15, have our other input of 14, we get output 1. So 15 minus 14 equals 1. Right? If I do 15 minus 13, we get 2. Simple math. 15 minus 1, we get 14. Now, you might think the comparator is done. We're done with it. Well, you'd be wrong. The comparator has one other use. It can detect the amount of data stored in a storage block. In this case, this is my favorite one. It's the lectern with a book and quill. For some reason, my numbers have changed to hashtags, but this is page 1, and we are outputting a signal strength of 1. Page 7 outputs a signal strength of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Haha, that's so funny. Page 15 will output a signal strength of 15. And I added this one to show it can't go any further, even though you can go further in the book. Now, we have finished the comparator. At least, mostly. But let's move on to the redstone torch. Let's come back over to our beautiful thing right here, where we explained hard powering and soft powering. The redstone torch acts as a NOT gate. As you see, when this is on, even though it's soft powered, the torch turns off. But when I turn the signal off, the torch turns on. You can chain these together to make an upward signal as such. But it's very useful, and I suggest that you use it in your redstone. Alright. Next up is target block. The target block is amazing. See, if you are trying to build redstone in a compact way, like that beautiful door behind me that is unfinished, then you might need to what's called redirect the redstone, as shown. The normal block does not do this, but the target block does. So, as you see, if I put a redstone link here and a redstone link here, which one will turn on? If you guess the target block, you're correct. Alright. Now, on to the sticky piston and piston. These ones are very good things. Very good, very good. This is also going to be explaining our honey and slime block over here. But basically, the piston can push up a block. You can move it. It's beautiful. It cannot move stuff like redstone dust or repeaters or anything like that. But it does not retract, as you see Minecraft physics. It's floating in the air. Versus this beautiful sticky piston extends and retracts. Now over here we have honey and slime. They stick to one another. Honey sticks to honey, slime sticks to slime. They do not stick to each other. Now, an interesting fact about pistons and sticky pistons is they can only push 12 blocks. But you see, even the sticky piston will only retract the first one, not the whole assortment that we pushed. Using slime and honey, we can retract all of them at once. Very useful for piston doors, but I personally do not like to use them because it kind of seems like cheating. Alright. Now, we have the piston and the sticky piston complete. We are moving on to the rails. Activator rail, detector rail, powered rail, and rail. This is stuff about minecarts, but as I said, part 2 will come out someday. So, as you see, I have a minecart in hand. Powered rails and normal rails are the two simplest ones. As you see, the redstone block is powering the powered rail. I put this minecart here, I give it a nudge, it goes along. If I give this a nudge, it's way slower at first until it hits the power rail. The powered rail acts as a boost and makes it way faster. Now, onto the detector rail. When you have a minecart on a detector rail, it has an output, as shown, with a delay, of course. But combining detector rails and powered rails acts as an infinite boost for minecarts, as the detector rails are powering the powered rails, giving it a boost. Now, if you want to do this in your Minecraft world, only space these out by 3, because otherwise the delay is not long enough to go any further. Okay, the last thing with rails is the activator rail. This one is very interesting. It has really one purpose in my opinion, which is, this is a TNT minecart, right? Blam. Terrorism. That is beautiful. Beautiful things about Minecraft. Alright. Now, we are going to be moving on to the dispenser, dropper, and hopper. So, this is a dispenser. It can shoot projectiles. As shown, that arrow just shot. The dropper, on the other hand, cannot shoot them, but drops it. Hence the name, dropper. But a downside of dispensers is they cannot put items into other containers. Versus droppers, as you see, I have arrows in here. No arrows in here. I flicked it. There's now 4 arrows, but 1 in here. Beautiful. Now, Hoppers act as a five-way transportation of items. So you can face them right, left, forward. Forward, backward, right, left, and down. So as you see here, I have one facing to the left, into all of these going downwards, which then goes into this one, which then goes into our dropper chain, going back up into this one. This is an infinite loop of items, and I will show you because the items are coming in and out of this, and they are coming in and out of this. They are going infinitely around like that. Now, I will not explain hopper locking as this is the basics. Part 2 is advanced. Now, we are on to the buttons. There's 2 buttons. They're pretty simple. They activate. That one's longer. Yeah. And then there are the pressure plates. Pretty simple. They activate. Same length. I don't know. Now, the iron pressure plate and the gold pressure plate, or the heavy weighted pressure plate, or the lightly weighted pressure plate, are way different. They output a signal strength based on the amount of entities on it. So, if I were to stand on the heavy weighted pressure plate or the iron pressure plate, I would output a signal strength of 1. It would take me 11 Ms to output a signal strength of 2. But on the lightly weighted one, it would only take me 2 of these to actually play, right? Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Now we are moving on to the greatest block of all time that you will definitely use. The daylight detector. Let's go over here. This is a daylight detector set in night mode next to a lamp. When it's nighttime, which I have the game set to always day, the lamp will activate. Now I'm going to set it to daytime mode. As you see, it is now in daytime mode. The lamp has activated. Guys, why did I put this in the video? Alright, let's go on to the 2 blocks that I kind of forgot to build. Here is the glass block. There's other substitutions like glowstone or other transparent blocks, if you know what I mean, that can be used in the same way. But as you see, it travels upwards like that. Redstone does not usually do that on normal blocks. Now, yeah, that's glass. Pretty meh. You can just use like torches, but yeah. Now, the copper bulb versus the lamp. Which one's better? The lamp is pretty nice looking, especially with my texture pack, and it's beautiful, in my opinion. It turns on when you have a redstone block next to it. It turns off when you don't have one. But the copper bulb is amazing in the way that you put a redstone block, it turns on, get rid of the redstone block, it stays on. So this is acted as a T flip-flop, that is, and you can read it with a comparator output. But those are the basics of redstone and all components. This video took took a long time to make. I would appreciate it if you subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton. Does not hurt to do it, as it does not affect you, except you seeing amazing videos like this. That boy out.